If you're over 60 and you've been feeling a little unsteady lately, a moment of wobble when you turn your head, a swimming sensation when you roll over in bed, a sense that the floor isn't quite as solid as it used to be, I want to share something with you that most people never realize. The reason you feel off balance often has nothing to do with your legs. It starts somewhere you'd never think to look, deep inside your ears. Most people assume balance is all about strong legs and steady feet, and those matter, but your true sense of balance is governed by a tiny, remarkable organ buried in your inner ear, and when it changes with age, the whole world can feel a little tilted. Understanding this is genuinely important because unsteadiness is one of the leading reasons older adults fall, and falls are something we very much want to prevent. We went through the research on balance and the inner ear, and today I'm going to explain why you feel off balance after 60, the surprising role your ears play, and what you can do about it, including one common cause that a professional can often fix in a single visit. So stay with me to the end, because I'll tell you about a specific type of dizziness, the kind that hits when you tip your head a certain way, that's both extremely common and remarkably treatable. Most people suffer with it far longer than they need to. Let me start with how your balance actually works, because it's one of the most elegant systems in your whole body. Picture your inner ear as a tiny gyroscope, the same kind of instrument that keeps an airplane level. Tucked beside your hearing organ are tubes filled with fluid and lined with sensors. And as your head moves, that fluid shifts and tells your brain exactly which way you're tilting, turning, or moving. It's astonishingly precise. But your balance doesn't rely on that gyroscope alone. It's actually a three-legged stool. Leg 1 is your inner ear. Leg 2 is your eyes, telling your brain what's level. And leg 3 is the sensation in your feet, joints, and muscles, telling your brain where your body is in space. When all three work together, you feel steady without a thought. But after 60, each of those three legs can weaken, and the stool gets wobbly. Let's look at why. Quick favor before we go on. If staying steady on your feet matters to you, tap that like button. It helps this reach more adults over 60 who want to keep their independence. And as you watch, think about when your unsteadiness tends to strike. All right, let's get into it. The first reason is the gyroscope itself, the inner ear's balance organ. We'll call it the fading gyroscope. Just like the hearing part of your ear, the balance part naturally loses some of its sensors and sharpness with age. So the signals it sends your brain about your position become a little less precise. In plain terms, the instrument that keeps you level isn't quite as accurate as it once was. This gradual decline is a normal part of aging, and it's a big reason the world can feel subtly less stable over time. Now, the second reason is the one I promised is so treatable, and it's worth the price of admission. We'll call it the dislodged pebbles. Inside your inner ear sit tiny crystals, almost like microscopic grains of sand, that help sense gravity and movement. Sometimes, especially as we age, a few of these crystals come loose and drift into the wrong part of the inner ear, where they confuse the system badly. The result is a condition called BPPV, and it causes brief, intense spinning dizziness, often when you tip your head back, look up, or roll over in bed. In plain terms, a few loose grains in your inner ear gyroscope send the room spinning. Here's the wonderful news. This is one of the most treatable causes of dizziness there is. A trained professional can guide you through a simple series of head and body movements that gently float those crystals back where they belong, often bringing relief in just 1 or 2 visits. So if your dizziness comes in short, spinning spells triggered by head position, please don't just live with it, because help may be remarkably quick. Stay with me, because the third reason is about that three-legged stool. We'll call it the overworked teammates. Remember, balance relies on your ears, your eyes, and the sensation in your feet, all working together. After 60, your vision may be dimmer, the feeling in your feet may be reduced, and your inner ear may be less sharp. When one leg of the stool weakens, the others have to work harder to compensate. And if 2 or 3 weaken at once, balance suffers more than any single problem would explain. In plain terms, it's often not one big failure, but several small ones adding up. This is actually hopeful because it means strengthening any of the three legs. Clearer vision, healthier feet can help steady the whole. The fourth reason connects to things we've covered before. We'll call it the outside influences. Certain medications can cause dizziness or unsteadiness as a side effect, and a drop in blood pressure when you stand, which we've discussed, can masquerade as a balance problem too. There are also inner ear conditions involving fluid or inflammation that a doctor can identify. In plain terms, sometimes the wobble comes from your medicine cabinet or your blood pressure, not your ears at all. Never stop a medication on your own, but do bring it up, because the cause changes the solution. Now, I want to give you one important safety note before we go further, because it could matter enormously. Most dizziness is not dangerous, but if you ever have sudden, severe dizziness along with other symptoms like weakness or numbness on one side, trouble speaking, a severe headache, double vision, or trouble walking, treat that as an emergency and call for help right away, because it can signal a stroke. That combination is different from the ordinary unsteadiness we're discussing, and you deserve to know the difference. So let's bring it together. You feel off balance after 60 because of a fading inner ear gyroscope, sometimes dislodged crystals causing spinning BPPV, the combined weakening of your ears, eyes, and feet, and contributors like medications or blood pressure. Several of these are very much treatable, and that's the heart of the good news. Here's your action plan. First, take any persistent or recurrent dizziness to your doctor, because identifying the cause is everything, and that spinning, position-triggered type may be fixable fast. Second, protect the other two legs of the stool. Keep your eyes checked and your prescription current, and pay attention to foot health and leg strength. Third, make your home fall-safe. Clear the clutter, light the hallways, add grab bars where it helps, so a wobble doesn't become a fall. And rise and turn a little more slowly, giving your systems a moment to catch up. Steady habits keep you steady. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Tell me in the comments, when does your unsteadiness show up most? When you turn your head, when you stand, when you walk in the dark? Be honest, because that timing is a real clue, and your answer might help someone else reading understand their own. We read every comment here at Build After 50, and your questions often become our next videos. And before you go, if this helped, the next video you should watch is right here. It reveals the hidden link between hearing loss and memory, another surprising way your ears affect your whole life. It pairs perfectly with today's topic. If you're new here, Build After 50 publishes research-based health videos every week, made specifically for adults over 50 who want to stay strong, steady, and independent. Hit subscribe and turn on the bell so the next one finds you. One important note before we close. Everything we share here at Build After 50 is for educational purposes only. It's grounded in research, but it is not a substitute for personalized medical advice. Dizziness and balance problems have many causes, some simple and some serious, and only a doctor who examines you can identify yours. So please bring any concerns to them, and remember the emergency signs we covered. They know your situation better than any video ever could. Here's the thought I'll leave you with. Staying steady on your feet is one of the great keys to staying free and independent, and so much of it can be understood, treated, and protected. Don't accept the wobble as your fate. Look into it and keep standing tall. What you do at 60 shapes who you are at 80. This is Build After 50. Keep building.